The seeds of conflict. 1896 to 1917. In 1896, an Austro-Hungarian Jewish intellectual, Theodor Herzl, published Der Judenstaat, The Jewish State, a pamphlet outlining the intellectual basis for the idea of a Jewish country. There was initially much discussion among Zionists about whether such a place was to be in Palestine or elsewhere. Early schemes proposed such disparate locations as Canada, parts of South America, and British-run East Africa around what is now Uganda and Kenya. European Zionist Jews were looking for a place to make real the Jewish state, and the debate fell between two major camps. The first was willing to accept a Jewish state anywhere, while the other was determined to forge a state in historic Palestine. In 1905, at the Seventh Zionist Congress in Basel, the dispute was settled in favor of a Jewish state in Palestine rather than some part of the world with no religious or historical connection for Jewish people. Many Palestinians resisted this move to settle in the territory and expressed their own national identity through channels such as Falastin, a newspaper founded in Jaffa in 1911 and named for their homeland. Other responses were more direct, with Palestinians aggressively targeting landowners who sold land to Jewish settlers. Jewish immigration and settlement set the two communities on the road to war. It would be a struggle in which the Zionists, armed with modern European nationalist ideas, organization and technologies, had the edge. Riots and revolt. 1917 to 20. In 1917, during the First World War, British-led troops conquered southern Palestine and took Jerusalem. In the same year, the British Foreign Secretary, A.J. Balfour, issued the so-called Balfour Declaration. Sent as a letter to the Jewish and Zionist Lord Rothschild on November 2nd, and published a week later in the Times, it was a deliberately ambiguous statement of British intent towards Palestine. It did not promise the Jewish people a state in the country. Instead, it vaguely expressed the sentiment that His Majesty's government view would favor the establishment of a Jewish national home in Palestine, while also recognizing that the region had an existing, non-Jewish population. The declaration helped Britain's war effort in various ways, boosting support in the United States, which had a significant Jewish population, and providing for British control of Palestine. The Jewish settlers depended on Britain for their survival and, until the Second World War, worked with the British authorities to maintain security in Palestine. Jewish settlement was met with local resistance. In 1920, for instance, rioting broke out as Palestinians opposed British-facilitated Jewish immigration. More violence was to erupt throughout the next 2 decades. Jewish European settlers in this period recorded the mood of colonialism. We must not forget that we are dealing here with a semi-savage people, which has extremely primitive concepts, one wrote at the time. And this is his nature. If he senses in you power, he will submit and will hide his hatred for you. And if he senses weakness, he will dominate you. Amid such colonial views, the British veered between support for Jewish settlers and for the Palestinians. Their goals were diverging and becoming seemingly irreconcilable.